All right, we're recording. So, hey, thanks for being on here tonight. I know it's the Sunday of Labor Day weekend. I had Tom remind me twice today. Like I said, don't let me forget it's Sunday. Don't let me forget it's Sunday because it just feels so weird. So before we start, I have a quote that I wanted to share with you guys. I read it the other day and I was like, this is so perfect for what we do every single Sunday. So this is from Steve Harvey. Most of you probably know who that is. He's a comedian turned talk show host, author, all the things. So he says, I told the same $25 a night joke over and over until they paid me $250, then $25,000, then $125,000, $500,000. And then in one night, I got $58 million for telling my jokes at the Kings of Comedy. Repetition is how I became successful. I told the same jokes until I built an empire. Never give up. So how often do we feel like we're going in the same circle, we're telling the same jokes, / we're just doing the same thing, right? We're doing our reach outs, we're doing our birthdays, we're doing the three-way chats, we're doing the reach outs, we're doing the birthdays. I mean, if somebody wants to pay me $58 million in one night to do a three-way chat, I am game. So let's just keep repeating that until we get to that level, right? So why I wanted to kick off with that, first of all, because I thought it was perfect. Secondly, because I want to cover some of the basics tonight. So I know that a lot of you are probably hoping we talk some about the promo, and we will, but I want to make sure so the promo is today and tomorrow, and we are meeting about all of next week. So I don't want to just focus on something that ends tomorrow. I want you guys to be ready for an entire week of activity. So first thing we're going to do is rate of run. You don't know where you're going if you don't know where you are. We've already had one auto ship, much to my surprise. It ran a day earlier. I'd like to apologize to my team for not knowing that, but I didn't. So we've already had one auto ship, and now we're having a promo. So for those of you that might be watching this that are new, to find out your rate of run, you're going to go into your cloud. You're going to log into your cloud office. You are going to go to your just right there on the homepage. You're going to scroll down till you see. Well, first of all, you got to click the button so you pass the promo. Scroll down till you see the business snapshot. Snapchat would be an app. Business snapshot, you're going to scroll under the big bar that says qualifications. You're going to see a button that says current QV. That number, oh, Maggie, I see her. Look at her. She's like, no, I don't want to look at the camera. I want you to rub me. So under that qualification, you're going to see current QV. Whatever that number is that you see, that's what you and your entire downline have done up to this point, and it's only the 6th of the month. So you're going to take that number and you're going to divide it by 6 so that you get the average. Now remember, this is a skewed average because we've already had an auto ship and we're running a promo. But this gives us something to like sink our teeth into so we know where we are and where we're headed. So you're going to divide it by 6. Now you're going to take the number that you see, that average number, and you're going to multiply it by 30 because there's 30 days in September. Isn't that how that song goes? Now the number that you see now, that is what you and your team, not just you and your team are set to reach that number by the end of the month. So here's the thing. It's really early in the month. If you looked at that number and you're not happy with it, you have time to push. I mean, honestly, even when we get to the 48-hour mark, we always have time to push. But it's only the 6th of the month, so you clearly have plenty of time to be pushing for this. So what we're going to talk about tonight then are the basics. Like, how do you push for this? Like, I hear people say all the time, you got to go all in, you got to push hard. Well, what are they talking about? Like, what do they mean? What does that mean? Because I know people who show up for every single training and they're like, I'm all in. But then what happens when you get off the training? That's really what we're talking about here. We're talking about the daily method of operation, like your to-do list. Some people have a calendar challenge. Some people have a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Some people have a goal sheet. Whatever the heck you are using, we're going to talk about it tonight. And we're going to make sure that you are where you need to be. And here's how you'll know if your goal sheet is where it needs to be. Was that number where you want to go? If that number was low, then no, your goal sheet needs some bumped up. If that number was awesome, great, hallelujah, I couldn't ask for more, then your goal sheet is right on where you want her to be, okay? So of the basics, I want you to think about numbers of how many things you're going to do. So like obviously, so for one of the reach outs that we do basically every single day are birthday reach outs. That's going to be a variable. You can't say I want to do 10 a day because you may not know 10 people with a birthday that day. I mean, I guess you could set your goal to go find people with that birthday. I'm not sure if you could do that on Facebook, but maybe. But then when it comes down to things like your reach outs, your follow-ups, your conscious comments, what number do you have attached to those? So I have a small group it's a little accountability group. And I asked them the other day, I said, what are your high impact activities that you do? And everybody pretty much came back with the basics, like my reach outs, building my relationships. And then I said, well, what do you mean by that? How do you do your reach outs? How do you know who you're talking to on Monday? How do you know who you're talking to on Tuesday? How do you know if you've talked to enough people for the day? So that's what I want you to do, is get really specific. And so I kind of just threw out in the group, just random thought, and you can take it or leave it. You target and talk to moms on Monday. You target and talk to teachers on Tuesday. You target and talk to working women on Wednesdays. Do you see where I'm going? Like, you can kind of come up with a guide, because I know for myself and for a lot of people, sometimes we wake up, we have the best intentions, we do our personal development, we're like ready to go, and then we're like, I don't know who to talk to. So if you have a guide, already knowing going in what or who you are thinking of talking to and how many you want to talk to, you're going to do so much better. Now the other thing too is if you were to follow that example of like the moms on Monday, maybe you're on a freelance Friday and you talk to people that freelance they work from home, and you come across some moms. You could move their names to Monday. Maybe you've got enough people on your list, you could move them to Monday. It just depends again on how many people you're trying to reach and who you're trying to reach. So be specific with that. And then I was trying to brainstorm just a little bit before we got on here. As we're going into this week, obviously starting yesterday, pretty much all through till Tuesday, I'm guessing you're going to see a ton of vacation shots, pictures, videos. People are at the lake, people are at the beach, people are squeezing in every last moment of summer they can. A lot of schools around here have started, but there's a whole group of schools around here that are not starting until after Labor Day. So you're going to have that whole back to school vibe again, where you can be reaching out to people. And remember, when you see somebody's adorable, cute, precious little so-and-so getting on the bus, as much as you just want to be like, oh my gosh, adorable, make sure you say, oh my gosh, adorable, who's her teacher? What grade is she in? Does she go all day? Was she excited? Like, ask a question. Don't just say how cute they are. Ask a question about how cute they are. When you see an awesome vacation picture, what lake are you at? How long did you guys stay? Were you able to see whatever the heck? I don't know. I'm making stuff up. You ask questions. Don't just leave comments. Make sure you're asking questions, because you want to have dialogue. This is literally a job where they pay you to talk to people. It's like the thing that my dad told me my whole life I was going to get in trouble for. He's like, you're going to go to first grade and you're going to get in trouble for talking. And I did finally get detention in high school for talking. And in detention, I got caught talking and had detention the next day. Those are the only 2 times in my life I ever had detention. But he told me my whole life, I'm worried about you. You're going to get in trouble for talking. And now Paul and Jason cut me a check every Tuesday for talking. It's the best freaking job in the world. So that's all you got to do. When you get stressed out about what do I say, or I don't know who to talk to, go back to when you were in the 2nd grade and you couldn't shut your mouth up long enough to even make it through math class, right? Just get in that curiosity mindset. You can't be stressed out and worried about what to say when you're being curious about someone else. You just can't. If you find yourself worrying, stop and say, what can I get curious about? Who can I get curious about? If you stay curious, you're going to build your business, because you're going to build friendships and you're going to get that know, like, and trust going on with people. And you're going to start, spreading out your circle. Like, for example, a girl I went to high school with, we started talking. I started getting curious, asking her things. I was thinking that originally our conversation was going to go down the route of where she worked and who she worked with. Turned into the fact that her daughter was getting married and there was this whole new family, and my friend really likes the new mother-in-law. They just got married today, so who knows? But like, it turned in this whole other circle of people that I wasn't expecting to get connected to, but it was because I was curious. I was asking what was going on in her life. How was work going? And that question, how was work going, turned into, it's a crazy mess because my daughter's getting married, and I think at the time it was like 6 weeks. So we just kept in contact. I mean, anytime you get something like that, a wedding coming up, hello, that is a person who needs to be checked on occasion just to see if they need to screen. They had a wedding in a pandemic. Like, I'm sure that I'm sure that she needed to talk every now and then. And maybe that's why she was so responsive to my messages. She needed to offload to somebody about what was going on. But again, if I wasn't curious, if I hadn't asked her what was going on, I wouldn't know. I would have just seen today that her daughter got married and be like, well, that's weird. I didn't know anything about that. So be curious, stay in a curious state of mind, and set the number that you want to reach. If you want to get to 30, let's say you want 35 reach outs during the day. Well, are 5 of those follow-ups, are 20 of them reach outs, are 5 of them birthdays? Like, how are you setting that number? Because it's really easy to be like, oh, I'm pretty sure I got to my number today. I left a lot of comments. I know I asked some questions. And if you've ever done this before where you just sit down and bang them out, and like I know for me, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I have talked to like 1,000 people. And then when I count the numbers, I'm like, I'm at 23. So it's your brain will trick you into thinking you've done more than you had. So make sure you have a goal and make sure you're writing it down. Something else I want to make sure you guys are doing that is completely basic that you can do every day. It's pain-free. It's the easiest thing in the world. And that's stories. So there's a whole group of people, myself included. I prefer stories. I love to go through stories. I love little snippets of what people are doing during the day. And yes, even during the snippets, I get an ad for whatever Instagram or Facebook decides to show me. And maybe one of the ads that pops up is Laura Wernsman talking about a promo for her Thrive. I don't know. I'm just getting exposed to all of it when I'm in the stories. So you've got to remember that your stories count because people are watching them. I know sometimes people are like, yeah, you don't really have to worry about stories because they go away. Okay, but in the 24 hours that they're up, you need to worry. Like, they need to be good. You need to make sure that you're sharing something. You need to make sure you have a story. And I can't stress enough polls, because again, that goes to being curious and asking a question. Yeah, so today I ran a poll about the BOGO. I forget exactly how I worded it. And I got a lot of response. But prior to that, I asked random weird questions about cats versus dogs, beach versus whatever. Like, you want to get people used to answering your polls. And then remember, anytime somebody answers a poll, that is clearly a time to respond. Even if they say they're a dog lover over a cat person, you can respond and get the conversation started. I saw you said you love dogs. Me too. How many do you have? What kind do you have? How long have you had them? Like, just being curious about whatever they comment on. So remember, as much as we are reaching out to people and we're commenting on posts and we're sending messages, your stories are a great way to get people to interact with you, that then you can turn into messages. Also, when you are struggling, and some days you'll be struggling to find people to talk to, go to stories, because as soon as you click a button of any kind on a story, you're in their messenger. And I think sometimes, like, you can tell when people are new to stories, it kind of catches them off guard. They're like, oh, we're having a chat, you know. But a lot of people now know, oh, we're talking back and forth about my story. Laura says, someone on my team answered my poll about BOGO. I hooked her up with her direct sponsor. Yes, and they both have orders. Thank you. My poll on my BOGO has literally been me going, hey, so-and-so, Sally on your team wants to order. Hey, so-and-so, Bob on your team says he's ready to order, which is fine. Like, that's all good as long as someone's talking to me and I'm passing those messages along. Because again, we take for granted that we think all promoters and customers are paying attention for a Labor Day sale. They're not. They might have bitched and moaned a week ago hoping for one, and they may complain on Thursday that they didn't see one because they're having their Labor Day festivities. So if you want those orders, if you want that volume, I'm going to encourage you to reach out to those people, to make sure they see the message. Don't assume that they've checked their email. Some people literally clocked out on Friday afternoon and was like, peace out, work. I'm not going to look at you again until Tuesday. And that may be where their Lavelle emails go. So make sure you're taking the initiative. I love when people are like, well, but I didn't know she wasn't going to do it. Well, I didn't know she wasn't going to do it either, but that's our job, is to talk to them. So again, you have, as long as you have your phone with you, you have the list of everybody that you can personally tag team, and you have your downline. So you can go through and see. So that's what I was doing when somebody would comment and say, yeah, I want to, because I think my answers were, heck yeah, I want to order, or send me the details. I would get these, heck yeah, I want to order. I would immediately look them up in the cloud and be like, oh, so your direct sponsor is Samantha. So let's hook you and Samantha up and see who we can tag you with. Like, just whatever works. So yeah, so make sure you're using stories. Is anyone else having success with stories? Using polls in stories? You can unmute, you can type, you can do whatever you want.
Okay, I have not used polls very much in stories, even when Kayla has said it, you've got to, you know, like after you do your Thrive posts and stuff. Like
Why?
sometimes I just feel like I don't have anything to like for it to be valuable content, or I think I'm racking my brain too much trying to figure out what valuable content
So
do
if
I
you
have.
got curious, like let's say you just did your 3 steps in the morning. If you got curious, what could you ask people? Do you have a morning ritual? Do you like chocolate or vanilla? Like just simple questions about what you just showed,
Gotcha.
right?
Okay.
So yeah, I think maybe you're overthinking it. Just get curious about what you showed. I know.
The
I
queen
know
of.
you're the queen. I get it. That's why I knew right away to ask you why. Anybody else having success or problems or questions before we move on? Because we're going to talk a little bit about the promo. Because I can't not. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we do, I do want to mention trial packs. That's another thing. So Sandra, that's a perfect example. Let's say you show yourself using your 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Your very next thing could be like, if you could try this for 3 days, would you? And then I never use like no. I always like heck yes, ready to order, and then maybe soon. Like I put something out there so they're still tempted to, you know, I don't want a hard no. A, I don't want to look at that, and B, I don't want to give them the opportunity. But if somebody takes the time to be like maybe but not yet, then you know you got somebody that's paying attention. So that's another really good one. I just wanted to harp on. I shared this with you guys. I forget a month or so ago. Maybe more, but where I was doing my freebie Friday and my sample Saturdays, I'm so proud of myself, first of all, because I have stuck to it. And I've stuck to it because it's in black and white sitting on my desk, so I don't forget. But it has turned into, I think at this point, 8 or 9 trial packs have been sent out. I have one for sure customer I got earlier this week. It was a referral. I have another girl who wanted to order yesterday, but wanted to wait and see what the Labor Day sale was all about. So we're trying to figure out now how we can finagle this for her. And then I just have several people who are getting it like in their hands for the first time. So if you're not, you don't have to give them away. Like when I did a freebie Friday, clearly I got a lot of comments because I said freebie Friday. Sample Saturday, I get less comments, but it's people who ask like how much. And remember, when you order these from your back office, they're $12. You can do whatever the heck you want with that. You can sell it for $12. You can sell it for $5. You can sell it for $25. I don't care. It's your business. You do what you are comfortable with. Brittany Williams actually yesterday on her Zoom, she threw out a, hey, I'm having a Labor Day special, which we are corporate wise, but if you're not already a Thriver, the idea of getting $160 doubled, it may not sound like that great of a thing to you yet because you don't know. So even though corporate is doing something on that level, you can do your own special on a different level for a different audience. So this one is, for example, hey, I'm having a Labor Day special. Would you like to try Thrive for only $12? I've got 6 packs available. That could be in your stories. That could be a live. That could be a post. Here's one. I'm giving away a free sample of my favorite 3 steps. Drop your favorite emote or your favorite GIF into, drop your favorite GIF to go into a drawing. I have some 3-day sample packs that ship right to you for only $12. Would you like me to put your name on one? Again, this is basic life skills. If you don't ask, you don't know the answer. How many times have you asked and you thought that it was going to be this person that was going to jump all over that you threw out, and then it was some Sally Sue that you haven't spoken to in 5 years, and she's like, yeah, I want to try that. I've been watching you. Right? So again, if you don't throw that out there, you're not going to know. Sandra, yes. Okay. So Sandra, and this happened to Laura Wernsman today too, or not maybe today, but this week. So if you don't know this, when somebody could just be like, you know what, I think I want to Thrive. And they can go to Lavelle.com and they can type in their zip code and people can pop up. Sandra Dilbeck has a customer that way. Laura Wernsman has a customer that way. And these people are pretty driven. Like they sought out Lavelle on their own. So now both Sandra and Laura have what I would call hot commodities. Like these ladies are asking questions. They're excited for their product. You know, now at some point in the chats, we talked about earning it for free. Now they're excited that they could even earn this stuff for free. So don't when you, because this happens to me and it's probably happened to you. Some days you wake up and they're like, oh, congratulations, Sammy, you got a new Thriver. And I look and I'm like, I don't know who this person is. Can't find them on Facebook. No clue. I send them an email. Sometimes it's nothing. Like, so far for me, it's been crickets. Like, I've never gotten anything back. But both Laura and Sandra, this time around, it was legitimate people who placed orders. Courtney Summers got a promoter today, and none of us know her. So we're trying to get a hold of her to see if that's a real thing or not. My new customer who found me on the website wants to do a living room local. I'm gonna need someone to go with me. Data Speed. Okay, yay. She's, I forget where, Kentucky. She's, yeah, Kentucky. Okay. I have gas, can travel. Okay, so let's dive in really quickly about the Labor Day promo. There is an entire plethora of trainings on it. I have one on my YouTube. I know Susan did one today as a live on her team page. There's no reason for you not to fully understand this promo. What I want you to make sure you actually grasp, because the last time they did this in July, people didn't really fully understand it until the comp checks came. So the way this promo is done, you get double the product, but no credits can be used. So you get full BV, which is what you are paid on. So you get full commission, but you're basically getting half price items. So this is a perfect time. Well, it's always a good time, but this is a perfect time for you to be working with your retail people. Double on top of that, if you are a GOAT earner, you are going to get not only double the product. Hi, Mike. I saw that smooching. You're going to get double the product and double the commission. So this is not something to sleep on. So if you, but even if you're not a GOAT person, you're going to get full commission on somebody getting a half off deal. So what I'm basically getting at is if on a regular day of the week, you said to somebody, hey, I can save you half off, or I will, if you buy a month, I'll buy a month. You're only getting commission on the 1 month and you're just getting regular commission. The way this is happening now, you're going to get commission and they're going to get double the product and you don't lose any money on it. So this is a really great way to boost your paychecks right now. And I know a lot of you, if you look back to your first paycheck after July 4th, if you're not sure, go in your commission history and look, you'll be like, oh, that was a good one. I do want to repeat that. So you definitely want to be pairing up as many people as possible for this tag team. So if you're not sure who you can tag with, as soon as you log into the cloud, it pulls up the menu for you. Let's say for some reason you're looking for someone else who they could tag with. It's anyone who is directly under someone. That it has to be down in the line. So earlier in one of the chats, somebody said, so for example, let's say that Lisa Cook had Laura as her referral. Lisa was able to see a drop-down menu and Laura couldn't, and they were panicking. It's okay. Lisa can tag Laura. Once she's tagged, it's tagged. That's a team. And you'll actually notice in your drop-down menu, people will start to fall off of your drop-down menu because they've been tagged, they've been taken by someone else. So I personally try not to do anything until tomorrow with I'm in the process of trying to put people together today, because the more people I put together, the better, versus me just tagging with somebody off the bat and being done. So keep that in mind. You definitely want to encourage people. Now, you're going to have some people come to you and be like, I want a tag team. Who do I tag with? And you might be their only option. Today, and at least through probably 2 or 3 o'clock tomorrow, is when you want to talk to them about who do they know that would be interested in thriving. This is where, this is where today I went back to all of these trial pack people, because they all were attracted to my trial pack post from a friend that was a current thriver. So I went back to them and said, hey, if you're thinking of thriving, now's the time to tag team with Sally. Now's the time to tag team with Bob. You can get started and get double. So it does take time, and I have to make like those little like bubble graphs of like who belongs to who, because that's how my brain works, but it's worth it. Like, spend the time and do that, because like I said, this is a good chunk of change coming your way. So definitely today and tomorrow, you're going to be focused on tag team. One of my non-promoting promoters wants the BOGO, and I explained how she could sign up her daughter. Yes, for sure. So they can still sign up people as customers under them. And some people forget, like your non-promoting promoters, there is a huge wealth of potential orders in that group of people. So remember, they're just glorified customers. They love the product. They love a good deal. They don't pay attention to a single thing on your team page. They don't pay attention to a single thing from a corporate call or anything that drops from their email. All they're looking for is the word deal, bargain, promo, sale. some of those people actually have team members and customers still signed up under them, but they've just never worked the business. So my first question to them is, hey, let's log into your cloud, go over to the My Team button, tell me who pops up. If that doesn't work, go over to the My Customer button and tell me who pops up. Because some of those people may be people that you still know or that they still know thrive. That's where you want to send them first to try to tag people. If not, if they have relatives, friends, like Laura said, she had her sign her daughter up, they can get the deal that way. There's always, you just have to be creative. There's always ways to make these promos work. Okay, so with that, so if I were you, what I'm going to be doing tonight and tomorrow, it's all about the promo. After that, I mean, so when I say that, please don't forget that you have to do the basics first. It's exciting to do a promo. I get it, but you got to focus on your basics first. So even while you're talking to people about the promo, make sure you're doing your birthday reach outs, make sure you're doing your follow-ups, make sure you're talking to people. And then I know the next auto ship isn't until next Tuesday, but I tell you guys this every single week: start early, start early, start early. Last month, at the end of the month, on the day that the goat dropped, one of the girls on our team woke up and she was only $40 away because she had that many auto ships run on that day. And when we talked to her about it, she said, and I remember too, because I was in group chats, but I wasn't really putting it all together. There was probably 7 of those auto shippers that were like, I don't know if I'm going to order again. I'm not sure if I felt it. I'm not sure if I can afford it. And she did exactly what she should do. She put them in their group chat or fired back up the group chat. She talked to people. She literally saved all of those auto ships from just excuses. And because of that effort she put in, not even knowing about a promo, the next day when she woke up, she was $40 away from hitting a promo that she needed to be $1,000 and she was $960. So your auto ship work, that is your bread and butter. I cannot stress that enough. That is your bread and butter. So I will remind you too, since it's still the beginning of the month, if you have not sent thank you cards to everyone who auto shipped with you last month or like ordered anything, basically, make sure you do that now so you still get their love. You want them to love you. You want them to be like, oh my gosh, she is the greatest. I kid you not. I use this all the time. My sister just did it again the other day. Her fingernail girl, the little stick-on fingernail things that she thinks are the most amazing thing in the world, the girl gave her 5 blue ones. She's like, my nail girl treats me so good. It's a page of stickers. Guess what you have? A bunch of pages of stickers. You could easily throw a DFT into someone's mailbox and they're going to think you're amazing. That's pretty. This is all. Oh yes, this is also the first paycheck for Goat. You're right, Susan. This will be a doozy. Oh, I'm gonna buy a boat. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, so that's it. I don't want to keep you on here any longer than you need. Does anybody have questions? Anything I forgot? Anything I missed? Because it happens. No? Okay. Well, this will go up on the YouTube because I know there's a lot of people living it up right now on boats and stuff, fires, barbecues, and all that jazz. So make sure you share it with your teams because remember, as exciting as it is to do things like Goat and tag teams and whatever, if you don't do the basics, if you don't do that repetitive day in and day out work, none of that other stuff counts. It just doesn't. Your business will not grow from promos alone. So, all right. Happy Labor Day. Bye.